Your dad in heaven says, "My beloved child, stop everything and listen carefully, for this is not an ordinary message. This is an urgent communication sent directly from my heart to yours at this critical moment. I have been watching you, thinking about you, and moving heaven and earth to reach you today. This message could not wait another moment. This word could not be delayed another hour. This revelation could not be postponed another day. There are things happening in your life right now that require my immediate intervention, my divine wisdom, and my fatherly guidance. You have been chosen to receive this message because you are my precious child, because you carry my DNA in your spiritual being, because you matter more to me than you could possibly understand. What I am about to tell you will change how you see your current situation, how you understand your life circumstances, and how you face the days ahead. Open your heart, quiet your mind, and prepare your spirit to receive what only a loving Father could tell you. Something is unfolding in your life that you cannot fully see. Something is developing in your circumstances that has heavenly attention. Something is being orchestrated in the spiritual realm that directly affects your future. The challenges you've been facing, the obstacles that have appeared in your path, the difficulties that have seemed to multiply around you, none of these are random coincidences or cruel twists of fate. You may not have realized it yet, but heaven has been watching. I have seen every tear that has fallen. I have heard every silent prayer. I have felt every moment of your uncertainty and fear. And now I must speak to you before things progress any further. There are forces at work trying to convince you that you are alone. There are influences attempting to make you believe you've been abandoned. There are voices whispering that your situation is hopeless. But my child, these are all lies. The heaviness you've been carrying, the weight that has been pressing down on you, the burden that has made each day feel like a struggle, I have been monitoring it all. The sleepless nights, the anxious thoughts, the moments of despair, nothing has escaped my attention. I am revealing this to you now because a turning point has arrived. A critical moment has come. A divine intersection has been reached where what happens next will determine so much about your journey forward. I know about the financial pressure that has been squeezing you. I see the relationship that has been causing you pain. I understand the health concern that has been growing in the back of your mind. The career uncertainty, the family tension, the personal disappointment, nothing is hidden from me. I know what keeps you awake at 3 a.m. I know what makes your stomach tighten with anxiety. I know what brings those sudden waves of fear that crash over you without warning. My child, I have always known you. I have always seen you. I have always understood everything about you. Even the things you try to hide from others. Even the struggles you don't put into words. Even the questions you're afraid to ask out loud. You have been wondering if I'm still listening. You have been questioning if I still care. You have been doubting if I'm aware of just how difficult things have become. That wondering was not your lack of faith. That questioning was not your spiritual failure. That doubting was the enemy trying to create distance between us. The truth is that I have been more involved, more engaged, and more active in your situation than you could possibly imagine. The prayers you thought went unanswered were actually setting powerful things in motion. The tears you cried in secret were collected and counted. The moments you felt completely alone were actually times when I was holding you most closely. I know you've been hurt by earthly relationships that failed you. I understand how past disappointments have made it hard to trust. I see how your heart has been guarded because of previous pain. But my child, I am not like those who have hurt you. I do not love conditionally. I do not abandon when things get difficult. I do not turn away when you struggle. My love for you is perfect, unchanging, and eternal. And right now, that love compels me to speak this urgent message into your life. But my beloved child, do not be afraid. Do not let your heart be troubled. Do not allow your spirit to be overwhelmed. For I, your heavenly Father, am revealing these things to you not to cause distress but to bring peace. Not to create fear but to establish faith. Not to burden you but to lift you up. The message I bring is not one of judgment but of love. Not of condemnation but of compassion. Not of rejection but of restoration. I know the path has been difficult. I understand that the journey has felt longer than you expected. I see that the challenges have been greater than you felt prepared for. But my child, not a single step of this path has been without purpose. Not a single tear has been wasted. Not a single struggle has been meaningless. Every moment has been preparing you. Every difficulty has been strengthening you. Every obstacle has been teaching you. You may not yet see the full picture. You may not yet understand the complete plan. You may not yet grasp the ultimate purpose. But I see it all. I know where this is leading. I understand what is being accomplished. The resources of heaven stand ready at my command. The angels of my presence are positioned around you. The power of my Spirit is active in your circumstances. What seems impossible in the natural realm is already being addressed in the spiritual. What appears to be unchangeable in human terms is already being transformed by divine intervention. What looks like an ending from your perspective is actually a new beginning from mine. My child, I want you to know that I have never left your side. I have never withdrawn my presence. I have never withheld my love. Even in the moments when you couldn't feel me, I was there. Even in the times when you couldn't hear me, I was speaking. Even in the seasons when you couldn't see me working, I was moving mountains on your behalf. This is not the first time I have moved in your life. This is not the first time I have spoken to your heart. This is not the first time I have worked behind the scenes on your behalf. But my child, this time is different. This season is distinct. This moment is unique in ways you have yet to fully comprehend. Previous seasons of struggle were for development. Previous times of testing were for strengthening. Previous moments of challenge were for preparation. But this current situation has eternal significance that goes beyond yourself. The spiritual battle surrounding you has intensified because what is at stake has increased. The enemy's attention has focused on you because your potential impact has grown. The heaviness you feel is not just ordinary pressure. The resistance you face is not just common difficulty. The obstacles in your path are not just random challenges. There is a concentrated effort in the spiritual realm to prevent what I am about to do in and through your life. Do you sense the difference? Do you feel the increased intensity? Do you recognize the unusual nature of this season? That awareness is my spirit alerting you that something unprecedented is on the horizon. The timing of this message is not arbitrary. The moment of this revelation is not random. The season of this divine communication is precisely calculated. I could have spoken earlier, but it would have been premature. I could have waited longer, but it would have been too late. This exact moment has been ordained for your breakthrough, for your revelation, for your advancement. The spiritual atmosphere around you is charged with potential. The heavenly hosts are positioned for intervention. The divine resources are allocated for your situation. What has been prophesied is moving into fulfillment. What has been promised is advancing toward manifestation. What has been prepared is coming into position. This is the time to be spiritually alert like never before. This is the time to be watchful with heightened awareness. This is the time to be discerning with every thought, every emotion, every decision. My child, ordinary attention will not be sufficient for this extraordinary season. Casual observation will not be adequate for this critical moment. Partial commitment will not be enough for this pivotal time. The enemy of your soul is working overtime to distract you. Diversions will appear that seem urgent but lead nowhere. Voices will speak that sound wise but bring confusion. Opportunities will arise that look promising but lead to delay. You must develop spiritual discernment that goes beyond surface appearances. Listen carefully to my voice above all others. Attune your spiritual ears to my frequency. Align your heart with my truth. Not every spiritual message comes from me. Not every religious voice speaks my mind. Not every supernatural experience reflects my will. Learn to recognize the distinctive sound of your Father's voice. Feel the resonance of truth that vibrates in harmony with my word. Sense the peace that accompanies my genuine leading. Watch for the subtle signs I am placing in your path. Notice the divine appointments I am arranging in your schedule. Recognize the heavenly connections I am establishing in your relationships. Nothing is coincidental in this season. Nothing is accidental in this time. Nothing is random in this moment. Be especially vigilant about what you allow into your mind. Guard your thoughts with extraordinary care. Protect your focus with uncommon discipline. For in this season, your mental attention is being contested, your emotional energy is being targeted, your spiritual clarity is being challenged. Even as opposing forces make their plans, I am implementing my superior strategy. Even as obstacles appear in your path, I am creating divine detours that lead to better destinations. Even as doors close before you, I am opening new ones that no human hand can shut. My counterplan has already been set in motion. My divine intervention has already been initiated. My strategic response has already been activated. There are things happening right now that you cannot see. Heavenly messengers are being dispatched with specific assignments concerning your situation. Divine connections are being orchestrated that will bring unexpected solutions. Supernatural provisions are being released that will arrive at precisely the right moment. In the coming days, you will begin to notice unusual coincidences. In the coming weeks, you will experience surprising open doors. In the coming months, you will witness unexpected resolutions to long-standing problems. These are not random occurrences. These are not lucky breaks. These are not fortunate accidents. These are the manifestations of my strategic intervention in your life. I am working in multiple dimensions simultaneously. I am addressing issues on various levels concurrently. I am resolving complications through different channels at the same time. Where human wisdom sees only one possible solution, I see countless alternatives. Where earthly resources seem completely depleted, I access unlimited heavenly supplies. Where natural abilities reach their limits, I release supernatural empowerment. The timeline of my divine counterplan is precisely calibrated. Some elements are being implemented immediately, bringing instant relief. Other aspects are unfolding gradually, building sustainable change. Still other components are being positioned for future activation, ensuring long-term victory. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is delayed. Everything is perfectly timed. My strategic intervention is comprehensive, addressing every area of concern. The financial pressure that has been mounting, I have a provision plan already in motion. The relationship difficulty that has been increasing, I am working in hearts and circumstances simultaneously. The health situation that has been developing, I am directing both natural and supernatural resources toward resolution. The career uncertainty, the family tension, the personal struggle, every aspect is included in my divine counterplan. You are not alone in this journey, my child. You have never been alone for a single moment. You have never faced a single challenge by yourself. Even when it felt like everyone had abandoned you. Even when it seemed no one understood your pain. Even when you were convinced you had to handle everything on your own. I was there, closer than your breath, more attentive than you could comprehend. Remember that night when the tears wouldn't stop? I collected each one. Remember that day when the burden felt too heavy to carry? I was bearing the weight alongside you. Remember that moment when fear threatened to overwhelm you? I was surrounding you with protection you couldn't see. The times you felt most isolated were often the moments I was working most intensely in your life. The seasons that seemed most barren were actually periods of deep-root development. The situations that appeared most hopeless were opportunities for my most dramatic interventions. When others misunderstood you, I knew exactly what was in your heart. When friends betrayed your trust, I remained steadfastly loyal. When family members failed to support you, I was your strongest advocate. There has never been a single instant when my attention has wavered from you. There has never been a fleeting moment when my love has diminished for you. There has never been a brief second when my commitment to you has weakened. Do you remember how I brought unexpected encouragement on your darkest day? Do you recall how I provided that surprising solution when all options seemed exhausted? Do you recognize how I sent that perfect person with exactly the right words when you most needed to hear them? Those were not coincidences. Those were not lucky breaks. Those were deliberate acts of a father who monitors your every need. I have been with you through every valley. I have walked beside you on every difficult path. I have carried you through every overwhelming situation. And I am with you now, more powerfully present than ever before, more actively involved than you can see, more completely committed than you can comprehend. I will not allow any weapon formed against you to prosper. I will not permit any scheme designed to harm you to succeed. I will not accept any plan crafted to destroy you to advance. For I am your Father, your defender, your protector, and my love for you is both fierce and tender, both passionate and patient, both powerful and personal. The boundaries I have established around you cannot be breached without my permission. The hedge of protection I have planted cannot be penetrated without my allowance. The angelic guardians I have assigned cannot be overcome without my consent. And I do not give permission, allowance, or consent to anything that would ultimately harm my beloved child. What the enemy intended to use for your destruction, I will transform for your development. What dark forces meant to employ for your defeat, I will convert for your discipline. What negative circumstances were designed to ensure your downfall, I will repurpose for your destiny. Nothing is wasted in my economy. Nothing is lost in my kingdom. Nothing is forgotten in my memory. I will restore what has been stolen from you. I will rebuild what has been broken in your life. I will renew what has been damaged in your spirit. Areas of loss will become locations of greater gain. Places of pain will transform into positions of greater purpose. Moments of misery will convert into memories of miraculous intervention. My protection over your life is not passive but active. My defense of your future is not reactive but proactive. My guardianship of your destiny is not casual but intentional. I am constantly scanning the horizon for approaching threats. I am continually assessing developing situations for potential dangers. I am ceaselessly monitoring spiritual activity that might affect you. Your mind is under my protection. Your emotions are under my care. Your physical body is under my watchful eye. Your relationships are under my supervision. Your work is under my oversight. Your future is under my guidance. Nothing that concerns you is beneath my notice or beyond my reach. You have been granted this revelation at this precise moment because you stand at a critical threshold. You have been given this message at this exact time because you approach a divine crossroads. You have been provided this insight at this specific juncture because you are positioned for unprecedented purpose. The trials you have endured were not random suffering but targeted preparation. The difficulties you have overcome were not meaningless hardship but purposeful development. The challenges you have faced were not cruel fate but loving formation. Everything you have experienced has been shaping you for a divine assignment that is uniquely yours. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not a random collection of cells and circumstances. You are a carefully crafted child of destiny, carrying a specific spiritual DNA, positioned in a particular time and place, prepared for a purpose that only you can fulfill. The unique combination of your personality, your experiences, your gifts, and your trials has created a vessel that is perfectly designed for the calling I have placed upon your life. The opposition you have encountered is directly proportional to the impact you are destined to have. The resistance you have experienced is precisely calibrated to the importance of your future contribution. The warfare you have endured is exactly scaled to the weight of glory you are being prepared to carry. Now is the time for awakening to your true identity. Now is the moment for embracing your authentic calling. Now is the season for stepping into your divine purpose. What has been hidden is being revealed. What has been dormant is being activated. What has been delayed is being accelerated. My timing is perfect. Not too early, when you would have been unprepared. Not too late, when opportunities would have passed. Exactly on time, when both you and circumstances have been properly positioned. The convergence of divine calling and human readiness creates a moment of spiritual power that cannot be manufactured or manipulated. That moment is now upon you. The questions that have haunted your mind will soon find answers. The confusion that has clouded your decisions will soon give way to clarity. The uncertainty that has paralyzed your progress will soon be replaced with confident knowing. Divine understanding is being released to you in unprecedented measure. Heavenly wisdom is being downloaded into your spirit with unusual clarity. Supernatural insight is being implanted in your heart with extraordinary precision. Within the next season, you will look back at situations that bewildered you and see the perfect pattern. Within the coming months, you will recognize divine connections in what appeared to be random events. Within the approaching days, you will understand heavenly purposes in what seemed like pointless pain. The relationships that left you wondering why their purpose will be revealed. The opportunities that disappeared unexpectedly, their reason will be explained. The prayers that appeared unanswered, their fulfillment will be understood. Nothing in your life has been wasted. Nothing in your experience has been overlooked. Nothing in your journey has been meaningless. I am bringing alignment to areas that have seemed chaotic. I am creating order in circumstances that have appeared random. I am establishing purpose in situations that have felt pointless. Where you have seen only fragments, you will soon perceive the whole picture. Where you have recognized only pieces, you will soon comprehend the complete puzzle. Where you have understood only portions, you will soon grasp the entire plan. This clarity will not come all at once, overwhelming your capacity to receive. It will unfold progressively, at a pace you can integrate and apply. It will develop sequentially, in an order that builds understanding upon understanding. It will emerge strategically, with each revelation perfectly timed for maximum impact in your life and circumstances. My beloved child, now is the time to respond with your whole heart. Now is the moment to engage with complete trust. Now is the season to act with unwavering faith. I have spoken to you with divine urgency because your response matters tremendously. Return to me with fresh dedication. Renew your commitment with sincere devotion. Realign your priorities with heavenly perspective. The depth of your response will directly affect the dimension of revelation you receive. The quality of your attention will immediately impact the clarity of direction you perceive. The intensity of your trust will instantly influence the power of breakthrough you experience. Spend time in my presence daily, not as a religious duty but as a relational necessity. Listen for my voice in moments of quiet reflection, not as a spiritual exercise but as vital communion. Meditate on my words with focused attention, not as an intellectual activity but as life-sustaining nourishment. Remove distractions that dilute your spiritual sensitivity. Eliminate influences that diminish your heavenly perspective. Distance yourself from voices that contradict my truth. Your spiritual clarity is too precious to compromise. Your divine connection is too valuable to neglect. Your heavenly relationship is too important to take for granted. When you respond with wholehearted devotion, I release unprecedented blessing. When you align completely with my purposes, I provide supernatural guidance. When you trust fully in my promises, I activate extraordinary provision. There is a direct correlation between your responsiveness and your receptivity, between your obedience and your capacity, between your faithfulness and your fruitfulness. Do not allow urgent matters to drown out important priorities. Do not permit busy schedules to push aside sacred moments. Do not let immediate pressures displace eternal principles. The enemy of your soul knows that direct attacks would put you on guard. The adversary understands that obvious dangers would activate your defenses. The opposition recognizes that clear threats would mobilize your resistance. Instead, the most effective strategy against you will be subtle distraction. Instead, the most dangerous weapon will be gradual drift. Instead, the most destructive approach will be slow disconnection. Be vigilant against these insidious tactics. Be watchful for these sophisticated strategies. Be alert to these refined techniques. Not every opportunity is a divine opening. Not every good idea is a God idea. Not every potential path is a purposeful direction. Learn to distinguish between what is merely positive and what is truly purposeful. Develop discernment between what seems beneficial and what is actually best. Cultivate wisdom to recognize the difference between what feels right and what is genuinely righteous. Some voices will sound convincingly spiritual while leading you away from true spirituality. Some influences will appear impressively religious while disconnecting you from authentic relationship. Some directions will seem unquestionably right while guiding you away from righteous paths. Test everything against my revealed truth. Measure all things by my unfailing love. Evaluate every direction by its alignment with my ultimate purposes. The coming days will bring both unprecedented opportunity and unusual opposition. The approaching season will offer both extraordinary open doors and exceptional distractions. The unfolding time will present both remarkable possibilities and subtle pitfalls. No matter what challenges you face tomorrow, I will be with you. No matter what difficulties arise next week, I will guide you. No matter what obstacles appear next month, I will empower you. My presence in your life is not dependent on your perfection. My love for you is not contingent on your performance. My commitment to you is not based on your consistency. I am your father not just in title, but in tender care. I am your provider not just occasionally, but constantly. I am your protector not just partially, but completely. When others misunderstand you, I know your heart. When circumstances overwhelm you, I control your future. When strength fails you, I carry your burden. Take these words deep into your spirit. Plant them firmly in your consciousness. Hide them securely in your heart. For they are not merely encouraging sentiments or positive affirmations. They are living truth, divine declaration, eternal reality. They will sustain you when nothing else can. They will guide you when all other lights go out. They will strengthen you when every resource is depleted. I am not finished with your story. I am not done with your development. I am not complete with your destiny. The chapters ahead contain breakthrough, revelation, and fulfillment beyond what you have dared to imagine. The pages yet to be written include victory, restoration, and joy exceeding your highest expectations. The story still unfolding encompasses purpose, impact, and legacy surpassing your greatest aspirations. My beloved child, you are the object of my deepest affection. You are the focus of my continuous attention. You are the recipient of my greatest devotion. Nothing can separate you from my love. Nothing can disconnect you from my purpose. Nothing can remove you from my hand. This is my promise to you today and every day, now and forevermore. Your Dad in heaven has spoken.